From threatening to cancel a chainsaw-wielding maniac to attempting to negotiate with a shrub, get ready for the most dumbfoundingly stupid decisions ever made in horror movies. If you were driving along a deserted road and you spotted a huge, scary man throwing what seemed to be a human body down a gross, dark pipe, what would you do? Call the cops? Flee the scene? No, of course not. You'd obviously head over to said spooky pipe and jump inside. That's exactly what happens in 2001's Jeepers Creepers. Derry and his sister Trish spot the scary man in the act, who immediately chases them down and rams their car off the road. Clearly the guy is dangerous. Clearly this is a nightmare scenario, but he still idiotically decides to investigate. He asks Trish to hold him up by his ankles so he can perilously peer into the pipe. And guess what? She loses her grip and he falls into a dungeon full of victims. This makes Derry a target for the demonic villain of the piece and ultimately results in his messy end. The kicker, the movie acknowledges how stupid this all is.
You know the part in scary movies where somebody does something really stupid and everybody hates them for it? This is it.
That doesn't make it okay. But hey, that's more than we usually get, I suppose. In 2014's Creep, videographer Aaron takes a job recording a video diary for a supposedly terminally ill man, Yosef. He travels to a remote cabin to meet the stranger, and it turns out he's a massive psycho.
Mild shock.
Yosef starts terrorizing Aaron, deliberately scaring him, confessing to horrific crimes, and ultimately donning a wolf mask and preventing him from escaping. After a brawl, Aaron manages to flee. The end, right? Well, Yosef continues to harass Aaron, sending him items in the mail, and the cops are no help, the most realistic aspect of the movie. The psycho invites Aaron to a lake in broad daylight to make amends. First stupid decision, going to the damn meeting. Second stupid decision, sitting on a bench, completely exposed and vulnerable, facing out to the lake. What the hell did he expect? Okay, he made sure it was recorded, but what does that accomplish? What's the next part of the plan, Aaron?
Wait a minute.
Horror movie characters seem to love randomly forgetting how deadly the villain is, huh? Just look at Laurie Strode. In 2002's Halloween Resurrection, she finally has the murderous Michael at her mercy. He's suspended by the leg, hanging over a rooftop. After 20 years of torment at the hands of this nightmarish villain, she should know a thing or two about him. He's dangerous, vicious, and hard to get rid of, so she could send him hurtling down to the ground below, flee the scene entirely, or call in more firepower while Michael is helpless and trapped. She opts to go with the secret fourth option. Slowly approach and try to unmask him like it's an episode of Scooby-Doo. It doesn't go well. My God. Okay, to be fair to her, she wanted to be sure of his identity because of the events of the previous movie. Michael had, faked his own death by shoving somebody else in his costume and letting him pop his clogs. Still moronic. There's a reason the whole franchise rebooted after Resurrection. These movies had just become unwatchable. But Halloween isn't the only classic slasher to go down the toilet. Oh no, Friday the 13th is right there with it. In 1989's eighth installment, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason kills a bunch of people for the 8th time, only now he's in Manhattan.
Daring today, aren't we?
Jason is a supernatural monster that basically cannot be stopped. So why on Santa's green earth does the boxer Julius think he can punch him into submission? This just sort of, goes on. I can't show you what happens to Julius, but he doesn't win a trophy. Maybe he's not an idiot, though. Maybe he's just the bravest guy to ever show up in these movies. Are we all just cowards? Possibly, but he's dead and we're not, so there you go. I maintain that people are often way too quick to forgive dumb decisions from characters if they did the right thing. whatever that means. Take 2013's The Purge, for example. Awful movie, by the way, don't bother. In the world of The Purge, once a year, all crime is legal for one night in an event dubbed Christmas. I mean, The Purge. Basically, while the purge is going on, stay indoors and out of sight. Our protagonists, the stand-ins, are lucky enough to be well off with a big house and fancy security system designed specifically for the night of mayhem. Just keep the place locked down. Well, when the youngest stand-in, Charlie, sees a desperate man calling for help in the streets, he opens the place up to let him in. That was nice, huh? Well, I hope it was worth it because this action draws the attention of the purgers hunting him, who invade the home and off Daddy Dearest. Yeah, he did a good thing, but his dad got killed and his family got terrorized. You decide whether it was smart or not. I guess my point is that in a life or death scenario, you gotta be smart, not super empathetic, which is why I hate 2011's Wrong Turn 4. Look, there's an abandoned sanatorium filled with inbred cannibal killers. They've already brutally ended several of your friends in front of you. So, when you have them safely locked inside cells, it seems logical to take the opportunity to get rid of them and end the torment. One character, Kyle, wants to do just that by setting the cells on fire, but another talks him out of it. What? So the cannibals break out of their cells, kill and eat all the remaining characters, and then go have a siesta or something. Gotta say, the whole "we can't stoop to their level" thing really doesn't fly when you're facing down literal embodiments of evil that can and will pull your limbs off when they get the chance. I'd rather be alive, thanks. But I think that most horror characters don't care about living. Don't believe me? The natural thing to do when spotting a terrifying clown in a storm drain is to nope out of there ASAP. Anybody with a functioning brain and an understanding of the concept of self-preservation could immediately tell that this guy was up to no good.
Hiya, Georgie. What a nice boat. Do you want it back?
Oh, for God's sake, Georgie, run! The opening scene of 2017's It revolves around little Georgie losing his boat down the drain, and the demonic Pennywise retrieving it. Look, just leave the paper boat, kid. Your brother can make you a new one in like 2 minutes, but no. Instead, Georgie sticks around to have a chat. He wants his boat.
Take it. Take it, Georgie.
What? No, Georgie, do not take it. That's the stupidest thing you could do. This is so obviously a trap.
Hey, cool, I'm dead.
Well, I really don't know what else to say here. Georgie even points out that his parents told him to beware of strangers. Maybe they needed to specifically warn against drain-dwelling demon clowns for the kid to get the picture. But Georgie is just a kid, right? We can at least understand that his brain isn't fully formed. But when it's adults, nah, no excuse. You're just a dribbling idiot. Case in point, 2024's Speak No Evil remake. The basic premise of the movie is that an American family go to stay with a British couple they meet on vacation. They quickly realize, however, that their hosts are utterly nuts. The pair displays some incredibly inappropriate behavior that should have any normal person getting out of Dodge. Forcing the vegetarian to eat meat, mistreating their own child, reveling in their guests' discomfort. Danger or not, these guys are bastards. Finally, the Americans opt to flee the home to safety. Finally, someone does something logical. Only when they realize that their daughter has left her stuffed rabbit behind, they turn the car around and head back to the house. Then, when they get confronted by their hosts upon their return, they decide to, stay to keep the peace.
Yikes. Well, good luck with all that.
Come on! Going back for the rabbit is a dumb enough decision, but agreeing to stay after the fact? This obviously leads to some carnage. In the original movie, it leads to the deaths of our protagonists. Now, it's worth pointing out that the movie sorta wants you to feel that way. It's a criticism of the way that modern people often put up with unacceptable behavior to maintain peace or avoid conflict. Fine. Personally, I'd like to think that sensibilities like that would go out of the window the moment I realized I was bunking with psychopaths. And while we're on the subject of bunking, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is all about the evil Freddy Krueger, a supernatural slasher who attacks his victims in their dreams. Basically, you gotta stay awake. Obviously, that's easier said than done. Everybody's gotta sleep sometime. But you could at least make it easier for yourself, right? Maybe don't do like Glenn in the 1984 original. After being made all too aware of the situation, and knowing that sleep means death, lying down in your comfy bed with headphones on is the last thing you should be doing. Whoops, you fell asleep, Glenn. Who could have seen that coming, eh? Huh, what's silly old Glenn like? But the 1985 sequel features an even more boneheaded decision. A pool party gets crashed by Freddy, well, being Freddy. That poor table. Oh, and he kills a whole load of people. The survivors of the assault are cornered and the end is near. If one of them is going to come up with a plan of action, they need to do it now. One shot. What do they come up with?
Well, we're boned.
You have just seen this melted face man slice, impale, and burn your friends.
I'm here to help you.
So many horror characters love trying to bargain to appeal to the obviously insane killer's sense of reason. In the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface boards a bus full of influencers with said chainsaw in hand. The hulking menace has just decapitated the bus driver and tossed his head inside, so these guys know he means business.
What are you doing?
Try anything and you're canceled, bro.
I'm in danger!
Yes, this guy seriously just threatened a chainsaw-wielding murderer with cancellation. Man, why didn't we think of this before? Just tell terrorists they'll be banned from X. I'm sure that'll stop them. There's no way in hell I can show you any of the utter carnage that follows, but just know that the threat didn't work at all. And no, we're not going to be getting any more sensible than that. In 1986's Slaughter High, a group of friends show up to their high school reunion to find their old school empty and dilapidated. Naturally, it was all a trap, and the group get offed one by one. One character, Shirley, decides that now is the perfect time for a bath. Firstly, what kind of school has bathtubs? Secondly, why the hell would you decide to take a soak now? Why make yourself both trapped and vulnerable? As if all this couldn't get any dumber, acid comes out of the faucet instead, and Shirley makes no real attempt to leave the tub and just gets melted completely. This entire sequence of events has irrevocably damaged my IQ. How did the bad guy replace the bathwater with acid? When did he do it? Why did he ever assume one of his victims would take a bath? Well, I guess he was right, though. He must have been aware of what inexplicable morons he was dealing with. Hey, speaking of inexplicable morons, 2023's Knock at the Cabin follows a group of randos led by Leonard, played by Big Dave Bautista. They break into the titular cabin and demand that one member of the family inside sacrifice themselves to prevent the apocalypse. Not good. So, when one member of the family, Andrew, has Leonard at gunpoint, rather than offing the antagonist, he decides to order him into the bathroom and trap him inside. Okay. I guess that was one of the choices available, but when we hear the window in the bathroom smash, Andrew and his fam immediately worry that Leonard has just jumped out of the window, and the only way to check is to open the door. Wait. Let's stop for a minute. This is the window you were worried he escaped through? Dave Bautista. You're worried Dave Bautista wiggled his way through this tiny hole? Oh my, he's hiding behind the shower curtain. It's like that one scene in Scary Movie.
No, Mr. Killer, I don't know where you are.
I'll give you a big clue.
Everybody in this scene is dumb as a post. The icing on the cake, when Andrew finally decides to take a shot at Leonard, he shoots a single bullet, only grazes him, and then gets charged by him. What kind of Scooby-Doo ass crap is that? Just unload on the curtain. He's clearly behind it. Ugh. This one in particular drives me nuts. But you want to know what makes me even madder? 28 days later. This 2002 movie revolves around an outbreak that leads to the zombie apocalypse. Original, huh? But this time, the outbreak stems from a group of chimps that have been experimented on by shady scientists. Horrible stuff, for sure, but the facility is entirely locked down and there's no way that the experiments could ever escape. Enter the activists.
Uh-oh, spaghetti-o!
A group of animal welfare supporters break into the lab and hold one of the scientists hostage. They plan to release the chimps in the name of peace and love. One of the evil scientists takes a moment to try and explain to them why this is a stupid idea.
The chimps are infected. They're highly contagious. They've been given an inhibitor.
Infected with what?
In order to cure, you must first understand.
Infected with what?
Rage.
We're going and we're taking your torture victims with us.
We're gonna get you out of here.
Listen, the animals are contagious. The infection is in their blood and saliva. One bite. Stop! Stop! You've no idea!
Yep, ignoring all the warnings from the expert in the room, they release the chimps. What could possibly go wrong? Well, they cause an apocalypse that completely destroys society in Britain.
Oh no! Oh no!
The man literally told you what would happen, and yet you still thought you knew best. Hope you're happy, hippies. Word to the unwise, if someone who clearly knows more than you about a potentially life-threatening scenario warns you not to do something, listen, whether it's infected chimps or sadistic spirits. Yes, we're going to talk about 2007's Paranormal Activity. After experiencing inexplicable supernatural phenomena, Micah and Katie visit a psychic. He explains that Katie seems to be haunted by a demon, one that feeds off negative energy. His advice? Don't try to communicate with the thing. Contact a demonologist. Micah's choice? Film everything and provoke the demon for several weeks. I won't leave you in suspense here. It goes about as well as you suspect. Oh no, not Micah. My guy, you've witnessed the crazy things that this demon has done. You know it's real. Why did you ever think it was a reasonable thing to do? If Micah were a real guy, he'd be a shoo-in for our Darwin Award series. But come to think of it, so would everyone in this video. Case in point, Juno from The Descent. This 2005 flick follows a group of women as they go spelunking. Only Juno, the organizer of this little trip, secretly led the group to an uncharted cave system instead of the mapped one they believe they were heading to. So, when there's a cave-in and the group is trapped inside, they have no idea where they are or how to escape. So, why the hell did she do it? Well, she wanted them to discover and name the system. Okay. But why lie to everybody? Was it supposed to be a nice surprise? Well, it turns out these caverns host some particularly nasty surprises ahead. Well, shucks. It's full of deformed mutants that just love chowing down on human flesh. I can't help but feel that all of this was incredibly avoidable. Good job, Juno. Your selfishness and stupidity got everybody killed. She'd probably get on great with Nicole from 2004's Dawn of the Dead. Naturally bummed out by the zombie apocalypse, Nicole befriends a cute little dog she names Chips. But it turns out that Chips is useful for more than just company. See, the zombies completely ignore dogs. They're only interested in humans. This makes Chips the perfect candidate to deliver some supplies. Nicole knows this, but when she sees the zombies acting aggressively around her pal, she freaks out. So what does she do? She steals a truck and goes after the dog on a crazed rescue mission. A rescue mission that is not only entirely pointless as the zombies don't care about Chips, but one that also gets a whole load of people killed. Not her though. No. Nicole and her dog survive the whole ordeal. So why does she get to make it out of this mess that she caused? Ridiculous. I'm sure that there are some of you who will find some way to justify Nicole's moronic move because she was worried about her pooch. Oh yeah? Okay then, Dr. Doolittle, justify this one. 2019's Midsommar follows a group of youths who head to a remote commune in Sweden for a midsummer festival. But why the heck did they stick around after witnessing members of the commune fling themselves off a cliff? That's the reddest of flags, but no, they stayed. They stayed in the village of psychos.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
I don't care about respecting a cultural tradition when that tradition involves people unaliving. Of course, when we come to learn that the commune is a cult and wants to sacrifice our main characters, they're all very shocked. Dolts. Any idiot could have guessed that something like that was going to happen. And if you go on vacation and your Airbnb host starts offing themselves, you should leave. Controversial, I know. It's a similar lack of common sense displayed by Louis Creed, protagonist of the adaptations of Stephen King's Pet Sematary. Louis discovers a spooky burial ground that can resurrect corpses that are left to rest there. When his child's cat is run over, he opts to revive it using the ground. Now, the once cuddly creature returns as a vicious and off-putting parody of itself, complete with glowing eyes of evil. This should be the point that a rational fellow writes off the mistake and learns from it, but nah. When his son bites it, Louis chucks him in the supernatural graveyard too. But maybe it'll work this time?
First I played with Dad, then Mommy came and I played with Mommy. We played, Daddy. We had an awful good time. Now I want to play with you.
What did you do?
What did you do?
You are made of stupid.
Nah, you knew this would happen, you massive dum-dum. Now your wife's been offed too, but at least at this point you can learn from the two previous mistakes and...
I waited too long with Gage. With Rachel, it will work this time.
That happened, and we all let it happen.
No, I get it, you're grieving, but that's an unimaginably, profoundly smooth-brained thing to do, and he's dead. Who could have seen that coming? You know who else didn't see their nasty end coming? Mike from 2008's The Strangers. Although he really should have. Let me set the scene for you. Mike arrives at his friend's home to find it pretty messed up. The car is mangled out front, the front door wide open, nobody's around, and creepy country music is blaring into the night. Suddenly, his windshield is smashed by someone unseen.
Foot.
He doesn't go for help. He doesn't phone the cops. He doesn't call out to his friends. No, he creeps through the house with literally zero spatial awareness. So, when his cowering friends mistake him for one of the maniacs and blast him in the schnoz, it isn't surprising. Look, I get it. Was it brave to go inside? Sure, but it was also stupid. Would you have done the same? Hey, let me know down in the comments. There's one movie character I'm sure you wouldn't replicate, and that's AJ from 2022's Barbarian. AJ is facing a lawsuit and needs some extra cash to pay for his legal costs. So he checks up on a property he forgot that he owned to assess its worth. As he checks it out, he discovers a secret basement doorway leading to a dingy room with only a bucket, a dirty bed, and a camera.
Right.
I think it's obvious that nothing good has happened here, and this place is a no-go zone. Well, it gets worse. AJ then discovers a deep, dark tunnel going further into the earth. Alarm bells, right?
Oh boy.
Nope. AJ's more concerned about all that extra square footage. Just think of what he could do with all that property value. Yeah, spoilers for Barbarian, but there's a creepy, deformed incest monster that is down there that gets him. But get a load of all the extra space though, am I right? Worth it! Sure, AJ is vapid, self-centered moron, but even he should have been able to see the danger here. Take this for example. As a functioning human, this thing should immediately trigger fight or flight for you. In the 2013 remake of Evil Dead, this ancient cursed text, the Necronomicon, is the key to unleashing supernatural evils. Hell, it's covered with barbed wire. It should clearly be left alone. Just look. It's also bound in human skin. Put it away. Stop. Even the pages of the book are telling you to leave well enough alone. Close it, you knuckle-dragging, nose-picking walnut brain.
Kunda.
Okay, screw you, man. At this point, you deserve whatever you get. The Haunted Book exists in the original movies too, but its power is usually unleashed by listening to recordings of the thing. Here, Dumbo sees the terrifying tome, reads the warnings, and goes ahead with reciting the Latin aloud anyway. Zero sympathy from me. But you know who I do have some sympathy for? Tatum from 1996's Scream. You see, when she's cornered in the garage by the bloodthirsty ghost face, Tatum fights back. Finally, someone that actually thinks in these movies, with the door to the house locked. She has no choice but to try and escape through the main garage door. Now, unfortunately, she gets stuck and becomes the next victim. Tatum has garnered a bit of a reputation for being a stupid horror character, but I don't really think that's earned. I mean, yeah, she could have taken the opportunity to press the garage door button herself to escape while Ghostface was down, but she still needed to approach him for that. The doggy door isn't a dumb choice. Tatum can clearly fit through it. Actress Rose McGowan could easily crawl through the door, so crew had to nail her shirt to the inside to stop her from getting out. She's not stupid, movie. You're stupid.
And so's your dad.
One movie that is definitely stupid and also filled with stupid characters is 2008's The Happening. This hilariously weird Shyamalan flick focuses on a new defense mechanism that plants develop that causes humans to off themselves. At first, the plants only target groups of people, but then go on to target individuals.
You serious?
Yes, I am. Marky Mark and pals just sort of meander through the movie, going to places, watching people unalive, and cowering until the plants just, stop for no reason. At one point, he finds himself in an office with a potted plant.
Hello? My name is Elliot Moore. I'm just going to talk in a very positive manner, giving off good vibes. We're just here to use the bathroom, and then we're just gonna leave. I hope that's okay.
I don't think I really need to say anything about this scene that you can't plainly see. Atrocious. Does Marky Mark really think he can bargain with a shrub? Is this supposed to be funny? Wahlberg clearly doesn't think so, or maybe he does and he's just not very good at this whole acting thing. Is it supposed to symbolize something? Is this a metaphor? Now, yeah, if this was a real plant, it'd be so normal. You know, for a movie called The Happening, it sure is impressive that absolutely nothing happens in it, aside from this at least. Man, thankfully, that's the last movie in today's video that has Marky Mark in it, so you may see more shrubs, though. Hey, 2005's Wolf Creek is an Aussie horror pic about young women fleeing a sadistic maniac. Sounds derivative, but this one is set in Australia, so it's unique, I guess. Well, villainous nutter Mick has kidnapped and attacked the women, Liz and Christy. Mick torments the restrained Liz in his shack full of weapons, but Christy turns the tables. She manages to grab herself a rifle. Bang! She fires a shot, grazing Mick's neck and causing him to flop to the ground. In a rare moment of logic, she goes to shoot him again but finds her gun out of ammo. Unfortunately, it seems Christy wasn't allowed to be smart twice in one scene. Rather than pick up any of the other weapons in the room or look for ammo to reload her rifle, she throws it to the ground and flees. And guess what happens next? Mick gets up, picks up a different gun, and unloads on them. So close, Christy. So close. You know who else was close? Saw's Dr. Gordon. In the 2004 OG, Gordon finds himself trapped in a stinky bathroom with his foot chained to a wall, with a saw nearby. Near the finale, he receives a phone call from his kidnapped family. As his wife fights off the attacker, Gordon hears a gunshot. He panics, dropping the phone, which lands out of reach. Overwhelmed with concern for his loved ones, he reaches for the saw and decides that the best choice is to lop off his foot. But why didn't he just use the saw to give him some extra reach and pull the phone over first? If he did, he would have heard the cops coming in, and his wife would have confirmed that they'd been saved. Now, sure, he's still in chains, but he's now got a phone line to the authorities, and still be able to tap dance. And old Stumpy Gordon isn't the only knucklehead from the Saw franchise. In the 2005 sequel, a group of unfortunate victims are locked in a booby-trapped house, and a deadly nerve agent will finish them off if they can't retrieve the hidden antidotes in time. One character, Addison, wanders off on her own to search for the miracle cure. She eventually finds her antidote, sealed inside a glass box with 2 convenient gaps, just big enough to fit your arms in. Now, given that the whole building is a hellish house of horrors, you might think that Addison would stop and assess the situation in front of her. She doesn't.
You blew it!
She quickly finds that the armholes are filled with blades that dig into her arms the more she tries to pull away. She's trapped. But what would have happened if she had analyzed things first? Well, she'd have discovered that there was no need to use the razor holes at all. The back of the box has a lock with a key already inside. She just needed to walk to the other side, turn it, and grab the antidote. Even if we're charitable and say that prolonged exposure to the nerve gas has made her a bit loopy, that was still a supremely silly thing to do now, wasn't it, Addison? There's no way I can make a video on stupid horror movie characters without mentioning the big dog, the undisputed king of ineptitude, Prometheus. Yes, this 2012 Alien prequel has become absolutely infamous for its cast of thickos. See, the crew of the Prometheus are supposed to be experts, geniuses even, the smartest of the smart, the best of the best. And yet, they continually act like chimps in spacesuits. One of the most well-remembered fools from the movie is Milburn, the biologist. This man's whole career is based around animal life, their genetics and behaviors. So, when he comes across this creature on an unknown planet, you'd think he'd react entirely rationally and utilize his expertise.
Look at you. Look at you, baby. Jesus, look at the size of that. What is it? Yeah, she's a lady, look. Huh?
Right. That alien just flared a hood and hissed at you like a cobra. Any animal expert would be able to tell you that behavior means, hey, I'm dangerous. Stay away from me, please. So Milburn backs away and regroups with the others. Oh man, no. He sticks around and carries on pestering it. For the love of... I'm no biologist though, so maybe I'm just ignorant. This could be some elaborate plan to win over the creature.
My worm went in my mouth and then I ate
hate it. Can I have a new one?
There were so many different options available to old Milburn here, and he just had to choose the stupidest one. But he's in good company. It's a real meeting of the minds over on Prometheus. Take this action-packed finale set piece. The alien ship crashes and starts rolling towards two of our crew members, Shaw and Vickers. Guys, just go to the side. Hey, morons, I'm serious. Just turn 90 degrees and run. Oh, for the love of people, come on, just get out of the way. It's really not that hard. A dog would have There you go. Boo! Unfortunately, only one member of the ship's crew can confidently say that they are at least as smart as a beagle. And on that note, I've had about as much stupidity as I can take for one day. Have you seen any of these movies before? Did any other horror flicks have you yelling at the screen? Well, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.